We've had almost 200 people register for this, which has been wonderful. It's the most that we've ever had. The interest continues to grow in the masterclass, and we've got some good announcements for you. I thought I put something in the chat. Maybe I didn't put it in the chat. There we go. The fabulous landing page that I was talking about. We do have that. We shared it at the end of yesterday's replay, and then we're sharing it at the front end. It's right there in the chat, so make sure you grab it. It is your one source, your one-stop shopping for all the replays. All of the replays are there. The link for the workbook is there too, so you can grab that if for some reason you didn't have that, although hopefully you did, because from the very beginning, we wanted you to print up a hard copy of your workbook so you could use it through the end of this year and also into next year. And then there's a really important new link that you probably have not seen. That is for the resource list. I mentioned many different resources throughout this masterclass, and that is my comprehensive resource list that you want to access. And I'm always adding to it. I'm always adding new things to it. So it keeps on growing and growing. You want to make sure that you do access that list. The slide deck from all of the presentations, that is here as well. That is at the landing page. Another really, really important link that I want you to see and also take 5 minutes to do. If you haven't done it already, if you could make sure that you do it today, it'd be great if you could just take 5 minutes. That's all it takes. And it's providing your feedback. Because of feedback from other participants like yourself, we have been able to make this masterclass better each time. And we want to continue to make it better than the previous masterclass. You help us to add value to it, and your feedback really matters. We want to make sure that we're helping you. Those are the things that I wanted to highlight. And maybe even near the end, I will share the screen of the landing page with you so you can see it. Another big thing, though, as you'll see, is if you haven't done a one-on-one sales call with me, we definitely want to get on the phone. You need to get on the phone with me, because that's the best way that I can help you right away. Talking with you about what your career path has been, what has gotten you to this current point, and where do you want to go from here? What are the challenges that you have encountered? What have been the challenges that you've had to go back through, that you've had to overcome? That is important to really pay attention to those. So I want to make sure you see that, and that we have that one-on-one conversation, because that way I can give you my full undivided attention, and I can also give you my perspective, my expert perspective on what I see. You are in the middle of the picture frame. How can you really see? How can you have the visibility? How can you see those challenges from a different, fresh perspective? You can't. It's not fair to expect yourself to see them. So that's why that one-on-one call is so important. Now, some of you in the audience watching this replay have already had a one-on-one call with me, and that's great if you have. However, I think that you are here for a reason somehow. Maybe you still have that challenge that you've been working on tackling, and you've been trying to make headway, and maybe you're not making the headway that you wanted to. It's going very slowly. It's not going as quickly as you wanted to. Now, if you could have solved the problem on your own, you would have already. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but that's just how things are sometimes. When we're working on something on our own, we're plugging away at it. We're even working harder on it. We're just really trying to move past it, and we can't. That's when you need to try something new. You have to get an expert involved, get another perspective. That's what I'm here for, is to help you. And I'm actually going to use a recent example of me for this. I I even posted about this earlier this week on LinkedIn, and it was something, it goes back to this example is you don't know what you don't know. And I didn't know how much caffeine impacted me. I'm a huge coffee drinker. I love coffee. But at least a year ago, I think I started to reduce it because I just felt really jittery by it. And so I made that change and I switched to decaf, which was great. And it definitely made me feel better. But decaf still has some caffeine in it. But I thought I was fine. I thought, I'm good. Last week, I did a nutritional detox. Why did I do that? A food detox. Why did I do it? I was still feeling kind of meh, I'm like, I need to feel better. So I did that. And as part of doing that, I had to totally get off of caffeine. No caffeine in any way, shape, or form, including chocolate, like my favorite source of caffeine. So I went ahead and I did. I'm like, okay, no big deal. I can do this. No worries. The difference in my mood has been from night to day. It's this huge difference. And again, why am I sharing this? Because I didn't even know that this was an issue. I didn't see it. I didn't have it. I didn't have visibility. I didn't know what I didn't know. But because I tried something new, because I just did a new approach, and I also got somebody else involved because I was working with I wasn't the only person doing this detox. It was in a group of people, but it was through this nutritionist. But because I did that and I got expert help, I feel so much better. I cannot tell you the difference. So I want to encourage you to do something new and to remember you don't know what you don't know. And my perspective, I want to give you my perspective in that one-on-one sales call. And even if we already did one, let's do one again, but let's be super focused on what actions you need to take. That's key. So actions, what actions do you need to take? And then that's kind of this whole wrap up. It's like, where do you go from here? What actions do you take? So look back to why you enrolled in this masterclass. Why are you here? Why did you carve out the time to listen to the replays? What is it that you need? What's the problem? What are you trying to resolve? What do you want to be different a year from now? Okay, I would say give yourself a year because things take time. So maybe you want to find a new job a year from now. Or I'm going to speak to the other camp of people that I talk with. Maybe you don't want to leave your job, but you want to know what's next for you. You want to have greater clarity on that. So a year from now, some of you will want a new job, or some of you will want to know what that next step is for you. Okay. Then you need to be in my program. That's what my program will provide to you. If you are doing a job search, when you are in my program, you will land your next role. We're working together in the first 90 days. So you do land that great role that's a fit for you, where you can make the impact that you want to make. And then for the remaining 9 months of the year, I'm there supporting you and helping you accelerate your learning curve into that role so you can really make the impact that you want as soon as possible, and that your transition into that new role goes smoothly. Because remember, starting a new job is one of the big life transitions that we experience that is also very stressful. It's wonderful, it's great, and it is stressful. It is up there with death of a loved one, moving, those big life changes, birth of a child, a joyful, wonderful thing in life, but also stressful. If you've ever had postpartum depression, all of a sudden you have this new baby that you're taking care of, you have very little sleep. It's very similar to that. And I want to be there for you. It's not just, okay, you're in your new job, I'll see you later. I'm here to support you. So that's the great thing about my program if you're a job seeker. if you are not looking for a new job, but you really want to know, you really want a career plan for that next step, and you need to identify that next step. In the first 90 days, we would work really hard to get the clarity on what is fulfilling for you and how do you want to make an impact, and what's going to really work for you for the lifestyle that you want, what's going to be a good fit for you. And then after we determine that in the first 90 days, then it's implementing it. How do we take action? What's the plan that we put together and implementing on that? Now, my program is an investment. It's an investment, not just money. Whenever you hear the investment, at least when I hear the word investment, I often think of money right away. But we do invest our time, just as you invested your time in this masterclass this week. It takes time to watch the replays. It takes time to show up to be here in class live. It takes time. It also takes energy. Do you want your energy to expand and grow and to reach others? I love to think about that in our work, because our work impacts other people. And often we need to think about the impact that our work has on other people. But your energy is important. Or do you want your energy to be drained? I don't think anyone wants their energy to be drained. But it's important to realize that this program is a commitment of money, time, and energy. But you're committing those things, and then you're getting the return on investment that you've wanted. I had yesterday on our call, I said that I had 3 open slots that I can take on 3 new additional clients. And I've had many of you be very interested in approaching me. And already one of the slots is being taken. And then it looks like 2 more will be taken very, very soon as well. So I'm trying to see what other slots, if I can move things around and create at least one other spot, because I really want to help as many of you as possible. That is really important to me, because that's what lights me up. But we do have this deadline. I want to encourage you to take action and really think about, again, where do you want to be a year from now? The time is always going to pass. When you think about, oh gosh, can I make the investment in money? Do I have the time? Do I have the energy? Well, regardless, the time is going to be past. So a year from now, do you want to be in the same spot that you're in now? Or often we find if we don't take action, and if we don't take new action, different action from what we've taken before, because what we've taken before doesn't really work. It hasn't gotten us the result that we want. So by taking new action, that's going to make a difference. If you don't take new action, then we might actually go in reverse. The situation might even get worse. When I look back on my life, anytime I've ignored something, ignored an issue, ignored how I felt, it often got worse. It did not get better. That's expecting it to get better or just to go away on its own is not going to work. It doesn't really happen that way. To help you with the financial commitment, I'm very, very pleased. And I did speak to this yesterday, that we have third-party funding available through Ease Consulting, and their process is great. They're very timely. So this slot that just is filling, I found out today. So this is a client who wanted to use Ease Consulting. So with Ease, basically, instead of investing in the program all in one lump sum on the front end, because the cost of my program right now is $5,500, okay, for a very limited time, because the price is going up. So because of that, and for Masterclass participants right now, the deadline to enroll at that $5,500 price is today at midnight. So that is really important for you to know. So because of that, This person decided, I want to use Ease Consulting. So what it allows them to do, instead of paying that $5,500 lump sum through Ease Consulting, they're getting funding, and their cost is going to be on a monthly basis about as low as $270 a month for like a 2 to 3 year term. So, and then they can pay it back early once they do land their new job and they get situated and they have the cash flow coming back in, and then they'll be set. And so they're able to invest in themselves when they really need to, without having that huge cash outlay on the front end, and they're spreading out the cost over time. And then when they want to pay it off, and when they're able to, they can, and then they have that paid off and they're done. So I love the flexibility that offers. And Ease let me know that this new client was approved this morning. So that's great. We're going to be moving forward with their onboarding and getting them all situated. So it's very easy to find out if you qualify for Ease Consulting. And we can do that when you do a one-on-one sales call with me. We can do it right then and there. You can find out if you qualify for it or not, if it works for you, if it's an option for you. And again, I encourage you, the sooner the better to do it, because you want to start the work now to be in that situation that you want to be a year from now. You want to be in that great role a year from now, or you want to have the clarity and be moving toward your next position a year from now. That is really important. So yeah, so very excited about that. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Oops, I thought I had my presentation here. Let me pull it up here. I have to pull up the right screen. Okay, so we'll do that. I started reviewing the slides yesterday as well, but I'm going to go ahead. So I talked about all the different aspects of the career plan, what you really should need. And I really spoke to, if you do have a job search going on, what's involved, or you still should have a career plan, even if you aren't doing a job search. That's important as well. And these are the essential components I see in a career plan. I really want to speak to mindset. I was touching upon it in the prior days earlier this week, but I wanted to make sure I included this in my wrap up with you, because it is so important. Mindset is really the foundation of everything we do. And the quote I cited is from Henry Ford: whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And he knew what he was talking about. That mindset is so important. I've seen it in every single one of my clients. It's so important that I decided to pursue my coaching certification to be a certified mindset coach. And I will be receiving that by the end of this year. Very, very excited about that. And it really is about who you are being. We're always so focused on the doing. And as your coach and guide, I am showing you the how. How do you land that ideal role? How do you find it? How do you make an impact in that new role once you land it? But this is a big but. We shouldn't be, the doing is important. We need to be taking action. But instead of being so focused on doing, we focus on doing all the things that we need to do to have all the things that we want to have. Like, we want to have a house, and we want to have a car, and we want to have nice things and provide for our families. Then we will be who we want to be. That's the wrong order. We need to focus on being the person we want to be now, and then be focused, making decisions from being that person, then doing, taking action, and then having what we want to have in our lives. That's the order that it should be in. So again, if you're looking for a CFO role, we talked with Randall yesterday. Randall had some really good questions in our Q&A session yesterday. And so with Randall and with all of you looking for a new position, be that CFO that you want to be right now. Make decisions from that place and then take action from there. Ask yourself, okay, I'm the CFO right now. I'm the CFO right now. What are the actions that I'm going to take? And another way to think of it is like, think of dieting. How many of us have dieted before and tried to lose weight? Diets often don't work. And that's because we're really not being the person that we need to be. You know, you need to be that person who's the weight that you want to be now. Like, just think out of that. And then when you really try that on, put that on, then are you going to eat that piece of chocolate cake? Are you really going to eat that piece of chocolate cake? If you're that person who weighs that ideal weight, no, you're not going to be that person. You know, maybe you'll have it once in a blue moon. Maybe you don't deprive yourself, but you really have to be that person. And that's a huge focus of our coaching that we do, as I'm learning more and really applying more to my coaching. Many of you are lifelong learners, and I think that is why you are here, why you registered for this masterclass. And that's great. Being a lifelong learner, I'm a lifelong learner as well. But I want to remind you of a couple things, and it's here in the slide deck too. So I'm just going to go to that page. Beware of being an information junkie too. Learning is wonderful. Being a lifelong learner is important, but we need to take action. What we learn doesn't serve us, doesn't serve others unless we take action, and we need to take that action. So how can you really take action? What's the best thing to do? Well, as a lifelong learner, I encourage you to study more and study yourself more, study your mindset more. If you're a lifelong learner, most likely you love to read. Take a book that you read recently that you felt made an impact on you. When was the last time you reread that book? Have you ever really studied that book? You know, when I'm coaching, I'm going to be encouraging my clients more to reread and truly study things. That's how you become a true lifelong learner. And that's how you can apply what you learn and take action on it. That includes when we have recorded sessions. Listen to recorded sessions more than once. Try to listen to them at least twice, maybe even 3 times. It's just like a movie or a book. Those favorite movies that you have or favorite books, think about it. Every time you read it or you watched it again, you've got something new out of it. The same thing occurs when we study. When we study those books that had an impact on us. So you're studying it and you want to take action on it. That is really important. Very important. And with this masterclass, that's what I would like you to do. For as long as the replays are available, I would like you to review them, and I'd like you to study them. And I'd like you to come away, identify what are the actions that you want to take. What do you want to take? How are you going to take this information? How are you going to apply it? I can't stress that enough. So I encourage all of you lifelong learners to really take your learning to the next level and to really study. So take that book the book that you last read that made an impact, and go back to it. Read it again. Or maybe you read the hard copy. Maybe there's an audiobook that you can listen to now. Or maybe the reverse. Maybe you listen to the audiobook and you need to take the hardcover. That's often how I do it. If there's a book, I start off with the audio and then I go to the hard copy and I really digest it. I'm making notes in it. I am highlighting it. I'm bending the pages and I go back to it time and time again. And I decide, okay, how do I want to apply this? What is the action that I want to take? And I want you to take that same action with this masterclass. I strongly encourage you to do that because that will help you to bridge the knowing doing gap, which is something that we mentioned here as well. The whole knowing gap. It's like we have common sense. We know what we're supposed to do. Like, you know what you're supposed to do in a job search, yet we don't do it. Why is that? You know that you need to make at least 5 new connections this week, and you didn't do it. Why was that? Because you weren't being that CFO that you want to be. You weren't being that person. We let fear stop us. We let lack of confidence. We weren't clear on our brand. So we let those things stop us. And there's no need to let them stop you. Okay, and now speaking of that, speaking of connection. So again, don't forget, I wanted to remind you about the workbook, because again, we put together the workbook to have all these great resources in there for you. You need to use that workbook. You totally need to use that workbook because it's a resource for you to help you. So if you're one of those people who feels a little uncomfortable with networking, maybe you're more of an introspective person, start with this then. Start with this worksheet in the workbook and measure your connection activity for the following week, for this coming week. Measure it and see how you do. What we measure, we manage what we measure. I think Peter Drucker said that. So just apply that and see how you do in the coming week with your connection work. Here's my LinkedIn checklist, and here's the overview of my program. So again, my program lasts for a year, and depending on what it is that you need, if you need a new job, we're working on you landing that next great role within 90 days. If you need clarity on what the next step is for you in your career, we're working on that for you in the first 90 days. And then the rest of the year, we're spending and supporting you either in getting up to speed in your new role and making the impact that you want, or help you taking action to move toward that next role that you've identified. That's great stuff. It's great to think. Be open to the possibilities, like where you're at right now. You may not be really happy about where you're at right now, and maybe that's why you're here, but you can be where you want to be next year if you're willing to invest in yourself, in the time, the energy, all of those things. So yeah, so that's, we're going to be, so going forward in the Facebook group, we're going to be doing a lot more for you too. So I want you to stay in the Facebook group too. So I want you, we're going to be providing daily inspiration for you in the terms of a quote, a daily quote, because we want you to be inspired. We want you to really go forth and be invaluable to others. If you're happy in your current role, to be invaluable in your current role and to know what you're moving toward in your next role, or to really shine your light brightly in your job search so you can land that next great role for yourself. But we were here to support you. So we'll be supporting you with a daily quote to start off with. And then also too, we're going to start helping you to plan your week. We want you to plan a really impactful week. So that's going to be coming soon as well. That was a planning that I had done in the past, and I got great feedback on it. So I'm going to be starting that up again with you. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off here, let you get started on enjoying your weekend, but stay connected to the Facebook group, because that's where we can provide the most value to you on an ongoing basis. So check on it, try to maybe pick one time of the day where you can check in really quickly, maybe in the morning, just to help you get that support so you can get a great start to your workday. So do that. And then if you have any questions or you need support, you can message us or comment in the Facebook group. Look for our emails, because we'll be sending out more there. You can follow me on LinkedIn, because I post regularly on LinkedIn. So we'll be doing that. And yeah, I'm just really excited. I want to thank so much Jarrell and Job, my assistants, for like working behind the scenes and just being very helpful.
Yeah.
And yes, go ahead.
Christine, by the way, I think James has a question.
Oh, yes. Before you sign off, a current pressing question I have with the job search: how do I develop my brand and communicate my invaluable self to the network I'm building without signaling red flags? Yes, yes, yes. That's a great question. So there's nothing wrong with having it be part of your brand, though, that you want to grow, that you want to be better than yesterday. So as long as you frame it up with that, I'm doing this because I want to be better than tomorrow. I'm always looking to grow. One of my top priorities is my own professional development. And as long as you say, well, it may look to you like I'm looking for more opportunities, but really I'm all about what's most important to me is that I'm better than yesterday, and then I'm growing, and that I stretch myself. If I don't stretch myself, I'm not going to be growing. So I think if you really make that part of your brand, and the fact that you are communicating that you want challenge, that you want growth, people are going to draw their own conclusions. But you can be proactive in what you communicate to them. And as long as you're telling them what you value, what's most important to you, then I think that gets the message across. So that's a great question to wrap up things on. So thanks, James, for asking that. And then, I hope everyone has a super weekend. And then again, to get into my program, that pricing is available until midnight tonight. So we only have a few slots left, and they look like they're going, but, get your spot, ease as an option to help you. And we want to help you make the impact that you need to. All right, great. Take care. Thanks again for being here. And we're going to be doing this again next month. So be on the lookout for that too. Take care. Bye now.